Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I had to pause for dramatic effect, as
So,
I do sometimes.
Fuck are you looking at?
You know.
Oh shit, there goes our sponsor.
Well, you know.
Again. That was quicker. That's a new record.
That was a new record. It was 20-something seconds.
Oh, damn it.
Man, I don't even want... just like the movie we just watched, I don't want to give it any pomp and circumstance. I want to go right into it.
Yeah?
We watched Top Gun Maverick, and that was a brilliant movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had no doubt that it was going to be a great movie, but wow. It was everything that it is everything that like a reigniting of a franchise needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
No more.
It's
I think you don't need to beat the dead horse or beat the horse until it stops spitting out money.
Right.
I think that like Top Gun was a wonderful movie.
For the longest time, what I would consider to be one of a kind.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Also very much a time capsule of a certain generation. It's just a great movie.
Yeah.
Top Gun, for those of you who may not have watched it or who don't know, is a great film. Classic. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It is criminal that it took me so long to watch the original one, but I did for this podcast, and it was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like this was a very good decision on your part, Dylan, because like the dust has settled from. It's not. It's been over a year basically since
long enough
since Maverick has come out, and as I was saying a second ago, hold on. Well, let me get some stats here.
Yeah. Pull up the specs.
When did you think the first Top Gun released? Or do you know off the top of your head already?
I don't, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure if you just throw out a good guess, you'll probably be close.
I'm going to say 1988.
Oh, close. 86.
Really? Fuck.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure you could have just thrown out anything in the 80s, and I would have been like, nah.
Right.
You're
I knew
not
for a fact it was in the 80s.
You're right, mid 80s, and it's and it feels like it.
Yeah.
So, and this film released in 2022.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So to think, let me do some math here. 30 some odd years old.
Oh.
At the least. So what I'm trying to say is that you can have a beloved movie, let it cook for a while,
right,
and then make some sort of, I would hesitate to call this a sequel, but I mean, for lack of a better term,
a stylish comeback,
right? A igniting of the flame of love that this film, the original film, had.
Right. Had its own theme of love.
Yes, you're right. You're right. And I personally, I have only seen Top Gun, I think, once.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I should watch it more.
Yeah.
Because I remember really connecting with it and really liking it a lot. And I felt the same way in this film. I would really love to watch this movie again, watch it more, because I know for a fact there's some Easter eggs. There's a little bit of fan service in there for people who have like really watched the original Top Gun. And I think I even picked up on it from like my memory of the movie.
Yeah.
But I really, this made me feel good. And in all the ways that I feel like this may come across as disrespectful or mean, but I feel like the feeling that I got from this movie is the kind of feeling that I think people that enjoy watching those like cranked out Fast and Furious movies get. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But like those movies don't really do it for me.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're fun. I get why they're like a almost $1 billion franchise of this. Because again, it's like, it's easy, it's repeatable, it's not big brained at all, really. You can just kind of like, just and like just watch it, and it's just explosions and action, and it's fun. Like I get why those are. I get why Marvel does the same sort of thing. There is a method. People love the method. Rinse and repeat the method until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like with this one, this had that energy. And for me, as a person that like loves story and loves characters and loves like feeling something, this movie, I feel like did a great job of, like hooking you in with good action and like holy shit moments.
Definitely.
And then before you know it, like you're staying for these like relationships that are formed, these old characters that are coming back around, the loss of some characters that are important. Like it's just, there's a lot of like emotion, and it's there's great storytelling. It's hard for me to accurately describe right now, after only having watched it once, the arc of this film.
Yeah.
Because yes, there is, I would say, like most films, there's an act 1, there's an act 2, there's an act 3, a climax, a conclusion. But when I really think about it, when you talk about it from like emotional intensity, this movie is a roller coaster of up and down.
It's all over the place.
We start off hot right out the gate, and brilliant.
Yeah.
You know how, especially in like 80s movies, or even just movies, I think they do it in more recent ones too, but I can't remember. But like a lot of like older movies, at least from what I can tell, from what we've watched so far, have like usually like have some sort of what do you call it? A montage. Or like an opening sequence where there's like a soundtrack or something, and like and the key important,
all the establishing shots,
all the big name people show up: director, writer, producer, lead cast members, like that kind of stuff. I think they still do it in more recent films too, but like there was just something special about like a fun, like about the feel of it, and this movie captured that as well.
Yeah.
There's like the classic square square. And it's like it's ripping, and it's so good.
Yep.
And they're all it is just these glamour shots of the aircraft carrier maintenance team. Just like, doing their stuff, doing their shit. There's guys running around pulling hoses, laying cable, and getting
prepping for takeoff,
waving the little lightsaber things, little traffic cones, or whatever, and it's all that fun stuff. And it's and again, and they captured it at that. As a film and photo person, there are these perfect times in the morning and in the evening that they call the golden hour. And that's whenever the sun is like just setting right, and it makes everything, is like, it washes it in this nice warm color. Yeah. And it's not super bright because the sun's not beating down. So like taking pictures in it is always just so lovely and like kind of otherworldly in a way.
Right.
And I'm telling you, this whole sequence is shot at like precisely 7:35, like in the afternoon, and because it's just this warm. You could tell the heat waves off of the surface of the aircraft carrier, and just everything is bathed in orange, warm light, and it's like, dude, this is super cool.
That's amazing.
And it doesn't stop there. Like our boy Maverick is like, he circles the calendar at Mach 9. Right. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. The date, I forgot what month it was, but it's the 22nd of whatever month it is. and on it he has on like in like a red marker he has Mach 9 and he circles it.
Right.
It's like today's the day we're going Mach 9. I read it as March 9.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, why does he have March 9 on April 22nd?
Traveled back in time.
Yeah. So at first I was like, what? And then I like it re-clicked. I was like,
oh, there's no R there.
It was like, duh. And then there's this wonderful sequence where they're getting this like super secret
experimental craft ready.
Experimental
a
craft
descendant of the blackbird, it looks like.
Yes. And I've heard about this thing before. I have actually played a flight simulator.
Really?
And I've heard of this run specifically of going Mach 10. And the flight simulator I played allow you to hop in that aircraft and then do the full flight plan from cold start to going like and hitting the hitting the scramjets. That's what they're called, the scramblers, where it actually like you go. It's it is basically a rocket.
Yeah.
Like rockets that you would imagine like NASA would have, kind of thing. The air intake's closed and it just it's crazy. It's so fun. But this is the start of the movie. We're not even like 15 minutes into this film, and he's like going through like the whole program's gonna get shut down. Lack of funding, you know, the whole spiel. And in true Maverick fashion,
he's just like, nah, we're gonna go up to 10 for this bitch.
Not only am I gonna, the whole problem is that the program's gonna get shut down because they have to get to Mach 10. That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
But they have been like incrementally trying to like get up to it. But
now
they're running.
Gonna pull their funding for a drone program.
Exactly. So anyways, you know, in true Maverick fashion, he says, "You know what? Screw it. We'll do it anyways."
Yeah.
And he he gets the whole thing started and launches the his basically, for lack of a better term, a spaceship. He launches his spaceship,
starfighter.
Yeah, his starfighter, and he does it just when the admiral shows up,
right,
to really give you a big fu. And boy, they have this beautiful shot. They have so many. I can just gush about this movie forever. I love planes. I love jets. And there's this beautiful moment where just before takeoff, he's pulling up to take off and he clears the runway. Like, I mean, he cuts it close on purpose, obviously, because the admiral hops out of his Tahoe, and he's just like standing there, and he is in center frame. There's this little shack that like is like a little gateway, like an entryway for vehicles to get into, like a little like toll booth kind of thing.
Right. And
this plane, I mean, at full force, takes off, and I don't know if this is actually something that can happen or not, but the shock wave that happens, of course, blows the knocks the guy's clothes around, and then it nearly blows the roof off of the shack, and I was like, and it does like a little boop, a little hop, and I was like, wow, that's really crazy. So, but anyways, that
very
is like
fast and very powerful,
and of course, he goes all the way up to Mach 10. He's like, you know what? We can just keep a little bit further. Just a little sweet. Just a little bit more.
But he ain't your friend with this one.
Nah. He gets up to Mach 10.4 and then boom.
Gets a little crisp.
Just a little crispy.
Yeah.
Catastrophic failure.
Right. The plane, for all intents and purposes, explodes.
Yeah.
And
it looks like a meteor falling down from space.
Right. So Maverick is able to eject.
Right.
And the next shot we see him, and he is walking up to this old
diner.
Yeah. And he just walks in.
And he
looks dumbfounded. Like he doesn't even know where he is right now.
Bear in mind, he's still in his flight suit, holding his helmet in his hand, and he looks like kind of blackened, like sooty, like he's been in a smoke burn or like a smoke fire or whatever. Yeah. But go ahead.
But he
just moseys in.
Right. He just steps in front of the counter, sees the waitress, motions for the glass of water she's got on her tray. She just gives it to him. He chugs the whole thing while looking around. And then he
Dazed and
asks,
confused.
"Where am I?"
And then bear in mind, whenever he walks in, the whole diner goes silent.
Yeah,
There
everybody is looking at him
Right. Men,
like he's an alien.
women, children,
Mhm.
families, all of them are all standing there, and they're like, what are you doing
Right.
dressed like that in this small town?
What are you?
Yes.
So the kid right next to him just goes, "Earth." I'm like, Jesus
that is
Christ.
such a valid reaction. I
Yeah.
feel like from a kid. He looks to be like 6 or 7,
Right.
or 7 or 8 or
Like,
whatever.
man, this
Just a little boy. He's
person
eating, and
looks
and
human.
the funny thing is, like, he's eating a bowl of Fruit Loops.
right.
And so it's still like early from context clues. They from startup to him taking off, they were doing this like super early in the morning. Like
Yeah.
the sun is barely rising by the time he's taking off. So I can imagine that over the course of this whole project, it is probably, I would wager, 9 o'clock in the morning, and this
Yeah.
little diner is feeding breakfast to all the townsfolk.
Mm-hmm.
And this little boy is like, I mean, at this point, I can't assume anything.
His bar of belief is fairly high.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, from his perspective, I'm like, you know what? Same. I would probably say the same thing.
Right. It's like, are you like a,
Yeah. If you
an
came,
alien?
you come in looking like that, dirtied up, holding a helmet, after like we probably just witnessed like a what seems to be a comet falling from the sky.
Right.
It's like, you know what? I don't blame
I
the
wouldn't
kid.
put it past you.
I don't want to be specific and go, oh, you're in this town. There ain't no way.
Right.
Yeah, I would imagine you just crash landed here.
Who am I to assume?
Yeah. I don't want to say anything.
I don't know what you are.
Right.
Other than you look vaguely human.
Yeah, right. You look like a dirty man, but hey,
Right.
I don't want to assume that of you.
Of course.
I don't know if that's offensive to say.
Do you come in peace?
You come in peace?
What's going on?
You definitely come in filth. I don't know if
Jesus Christ.
that's. But anyways.
Maybe they don't have these on your planet, but they're called showers
Yeah, right.
and laundry.
Right. So basically, he gets recommissioned to be like the teacher of Top Gun,
Mhm.
the program he was a part of once upon a time.
Right. Mainly because they don't know what else to do with him.
Well, yeah, that too. You're right.
Yeah.
He definitely has gotten himself out of some really bad situations.
Mhm.
Or I get better yet, his buddy Iceman has gotten him out of some really
Right.
bad situations.
Yeah.
So
But they call him in to brief him on an upcoming operation that they have scheduled. Now,
yeah,
this is very short notice, and apparently there were other options as far as like instructors go.
right.
But I mean, you gotta go with Maverick.
Right.
How could you not? After all the crazy bullshit this dude has done, that would have been my first choice.
Right.
He even said he tried being an instructor for like 2 months,
Didn't work
and
out.
that was it. But they're bringing him back because they've recalled like most of the top graduates for Top Gun
yeah.
in order to narrow some stuff down as far as like who's going to be doing what and if they're capable of doing it at all. But of course he makes a stop by the bar.
Oh yeah.
Not just any bar, the bar.
The bar. What
Where
it's called?
everything happened. I have no idea what it's called.
I think it's called the hard deck.
Ah.
The hard deck is what they, at least in the military. I'm not sure if it's something else, but it's that you are not supposed to go. You're not supposed to fly below that limit.
Oh, right.
So the hard deck, I think standard is, or at least in this film, is 5,000 feet. So you're not supposed to go below 5,000 feet while flying. It's like a big no-no for a lot of reasons, because you can obviously ruin the aircraft, or you could hit something. That's the big thing. Is you could probably hit something. You could hurt yourself, hurt the aircraft, and then of course hurt civilians potentially. So, but there's a lot of times where that hard deck, I think, is risen and fallen because of certain criteria. But so having a bar called the hard deck is kind of cool,
Right.
I think.
Let's see. So they introduce all of the new blood.
Yeah. the new kids on the block.
Mm-hmm. And I like them.
They're cool.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Bunch of rapscallions.
Right.
Bunch of young bloods.
Mm-hmm. As if they were any different back then.
But the thing is, like, they are. It's as they say in that sequence while they're in the bar, like they are the best of the best, of like their individual fields. So like they may have done tours in other areas or done other things, but they all have come together to form this like squad that they're a part of.
The Aces.
Yeah, and as they all come in, they're all like, that person?
Fuck's going on?
Why is this person here? Like, what is this mission? Because we're getting like some good people around here.
Who's your favorite?
Oh man, I like Bob.
Yeah, I was gonna
Bob's
say I
cool,
gotta go with
dude.
Bob.
Bob's a little weird and quirky, a little nerdy guy in the corner, but like he comes around.
Yeah,
He's I could tell he just kind of didn't fit in, but like I think by the end of it, he really has kind of found his place, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, this film has like such a roller coaster of like we go from the top of this film. We're
the top of the gun.
We literally fire up. Like I said, we're not even probably 30 minutes into this film, and he's talking about firing up scramjets, which is like wild.
Yeah.
And he is in the process of, I think is it the stratosphere? I forgot which one. He's basically
one of those spheres.
He is. I don't want to get too nerdy about this, so please stop me if I go too far. For those of you who probably do or don't know about like airplanes and flow of air and all that kind of stuff, is obviously you can only go so fast down this low because there's so much air pressure that it's almost like trying to run through water as opposed to just like running on air. So that like a plane is the same sort of way. Like the higher up you go, the air gets thinner, the faster you can go.
Right.
So if you make like stay with me now. If you'd make nearly a super light jet and you strap two rockets onto it to get to space, basically, and you tell it to just barely, because that's what you have to do to, I think, reach the last to get over the hump of 8 or 9, or I think it's 8. I forgot what the numbers exactly. It's like 8 or 9 to basically touch 9 or 10, like Mach 9 or 10. You basically have to like skirt the boundary of being outside the atmosphere, which is why he basically has to wear a spacesuit,
right?
Looking like contraption, right? Exactly, because that's exactly what he has to do. There's a point in time where you're going so fast, obviously, like it's almost like you're trying to re-enter the atmosphere, but no, you're trying to skirt the atmosphere. And from what I've seen like I told you, there's a simulation you can do of it, and you can basically start in California, and then I think in a few minutes you can be in Florida. So like what would normally take I think it's probably the better part of like 4 or 5 hour flight to get across like the continental U.S. You can basically just like in a few minutes get to the other side by like just. And the same sort of thing works for like re-entering. You have to basically like it kind of works like when you're underwater, like underneath different pressure levels. You have to kind of like work your way back down as you slow back down into the atmosphere, or else you're gonna destroy the hull. But that's how this film starts. We're like, boom. 10 right at the gate. We're talking about a big old 10, and then we just simmer down a little bit, let the movie kind of like introduce our characters, fall in love with this new team, and it's super cool, and I love it. It's a fun vibe. And then we start getting our understanding of what this mission is, dude. And the mission, it's obviously near impossible,
right?
That's the whole reason why they're getting the best of the best around, because they're like, yeah, this is basically it was a nuclear
uranium refining facility.
I see. Yikes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, just go ahead and fly down into this like crater.
Yeah.
And then
fire a couple missiles in there if you don't mind.
Right.
Blow it to smithereens.
So yeah, it's a great film. It's a great film that ends up bringing back old characters. It's very emotional at times.
Yeah.
There's a great. I don't want to talk too much about like the spoiling of like some of the things that are talked about as the movie progresses. But like, there's a great bond with, Maverick's old wingman. His son is now part of the Navy.
Yep.
And it's like it's cool to see it's cool to see their relationship develop in the film.
Yeah, it's very heavy on the tension at first.
Well, for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Maverick held back. His name's Bradley.
Bradshaw.
Bradley, though, I think is his first name.
Yeah.
So, or his name. What is his name? His name is a call sign.
Rooster.
Mm-hmm. He held back his papers from getting into the Navy, which means it kind of set him back a few years getting started.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of tension there. But anyways, it's a great film.
Oh yeah,
Great, loved it.
real nice, top shelf material.
There's also like I don't know if what they're called. They kept referring to them as the 5th gen fighters.
Oh yeah, didn't know what those were.
They looked super cool.
Mm-hmm. Very pretty.
Oh, just says classification of aircraft.
Damn. Oh, did you type in 5th gen fighter?
Right, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. So I see right now. It says that it could be considered. They are F-35s.
Ooh,
F-35-2, F-35A.
very nice.
Yeah. These I when I looked at it, I was like, I think I've seen these before. But they're super cool looking.
Yeah.
The thing is, this this for me feels this may be toxic, or some people may consider this toxic. This feels like what masculinity looks like to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like there's like it is a beautifully made action film
Mm-hmm.
that's got these beautiful shots of motorcycles zooming around and driving a motorcycle parallel to a runway where a fighter jet is literally lifting off, and it's like, and you get to see the mechanics of all this stuff. There's strategy, there's dog fights, there's bombs,
And there's dudes.
There's shirtless men playing football on a beach. No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
That does happen though. A little homage to the first
Right.
film, and I thought it was so funny.
Let's
when it
call back
happened.
to the volleyball scene.
I love it. For those of you who don't know, there was a volleyball scene. I would consider it an infamous volleyball scene.
That's the scene everyone knows. From
Everyone knows from Top Gun, where their whole like squad of the Top Gun guys all do shirtless beach volleyball.
Team
and it's
building.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like it's supposed to be. From what I remember, it doesn't like transition easily into describing that. This film, at least, it kind of transitions into it.
Yeah.
Like there is that shot where the admiral is on the airfield and all the jets are lined up, and he's standing around looking bewildered
Right.
and confused.
Where'd they go?
as the song starts up, and this is just before the scene previous to this. What was her name? Maverick and his lady interest, Penny, had like a conversation about like how you need to like let go, or need like how, like teaching them in a different way, like and not just telling them how they can't do it, but
Right.
showing them how they probably could do it as a team. And so there is like a discussion beforehand about like what he should do next, and then the next scene is obviously the admiral like, why are all these planes here when they should be like practicing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as the song fades in, it cuts to the beach scene.
Right.
From what I remember of the other one, I don't think it does that. But I also could be
There's
wrong.
enough of like a pretense for that scene to happen beforehand.
Right. It feels a little jarring. So
Right.
there's like there's like an 80s an 80s bop playing in the background of the first Top Gun, and they're all just, I mean, it feels like it feels a lot like you're like, this feels like it's here for a specific reason. It's serving a specific purpose.
Right.
And I don't think I'm the demographic for it. But you know what? Man stuff. We're just gonna be shirtless on the beach playing volleyball. You know, that's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And there's there's inclusion. There is diversity and inclusion in the new movie. There are ladies. They obviously have some sort of tops on. They're not shirtless,
Right,
but like there are ladies around, all playing football on the beach with. And again, and I'm telling you, man,
it's a team exercise.
And
Nobody's excluded.
It is. I mean, this is perfectly filmed at 7:15 in the afternoon, where the sun is glistening off the waves and everything is cast in this soft orange hue. As there's just water splashing around, and there's just this modern day bop. I don't know what the name of the song is. It's just playing in the background.
I've heard it before, but I don't know the name.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun with it. But
it ain't bad.
Anyways, I feel like anyway, masculinity. There's also, I mean, there's them fixing on things. There is, there's just
working on stuff.
Right. The Penny has an 80s model Porsche.
Oh,
and it's
that thing
pretty.
is beautiful.
It's clean. It's all silver with like the stock rims on it. And it's like, just the more you look at it, the more I'm like, just this man stuff. I'm like, hell yeah.
It's a nice car.
It's a nice car. It's anyways. It's just and the thing is, personally, never been a. This is gonna make sense once I get to the conclusion. I've never been a big fan of The Rock. I have nothing against him.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But I just my mind, it goes into weird places.
Your next words carefully.
I was gonna make a joke about Dwayne Johnson, about how I was gonna call him a nickname. But anyways, I like him, but I feel like as people have stated before, Dwayne Johnson a lot of times I feel like does a great job of like playing action hero or just playing Dwayne Johnson in a film. Like it kind of feels like the same sort of character.
Yeah.
Some of his characters I think are different and are unique and interesting. But I'm saying that because like I have seen Tom Cruise in a handful of films, and I think he can be described as kind of the same way. But I guess it's just because I like him more. I don't know why. I guess I just connect with him in some way or whatever. But like, I've seen him in Oblivion, which I thought was a wonderful film. I think it may just be the film choices he makes. I think I like the film as a whole, and then I think he's just kind of a part of it. I think is what I'm realizing now, because Top Gun's the same story. I like the film as a whole, and I like him as a character in it. Oblivion, I like the concept of the film as a whole. Edge of Tomorrow, great film, great premise. It's interesting, it's fun. I have seen a couple of Mission Impossibles, and those were fun. That may be more in like the Fast and Furious camp. And so watching this, even having like action hero Tom Cruise in there, I'm like, it just feels very like, hoorah, It's also military stuff. So I'm like, every time, as this movie was progressing, I was like, man, this just makes me feel like I need to go fix something. I need to go like get my hands dirty and like ride a motorcycle into the sunset and just.
I got a few problems with my car. If you want to take a look,
I need to go specifically wear a leather bomber jacket.
Yeah.
Even though it's 100 degrees outside here in the South. But anyways,
I would sooner die.
So anyways, there's it's a lot of that kind of stuff where like there are so many like little things that I'm like, to some people they may be like, ew, this is too much. But for me, I'm like, bro, this is just in my wheelhouse. I think it's also because in my youth I was kind of made fun of for not being like in our area, we
Mhm.
live in Louisiana, and so like in our area of the South, masculinity a lot of times is like you work at some sort of plant, or you work offshore.
Yeah, you work and do nothing
Yeah,
else.
right,
and look
right.
really grumpy.
Exactly, right. But you have to like football. You have to drink.
Football.
You have to drink light beer,
Mhm.
and a lot of it too. And it's like gross. Why? I like dark beer personally.
Yeah.
Anyways, and like it's all these like traditional factors around me
Mhm.
that I was like, oh, yeah, you have to drive a Jeep or a big truck.
Right.
Like there's all these other things. It's like that's stereotypical around here,
Mhm.
and that has never been me. I've been a musician. I've been an artist. I've had long hair. I've been as a kid, I was a little more lanky. It's like I wasn't, and I never was on the football team. I never really played sports a whole lot.
Yeah.
So anyways, like, so growing up, I was picked on as a kid for not being masculine enough. And then I watch a film like this and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like
Making a rebound.
And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of masculinity where I'm like, I want to go fly a jet. I want to go drive a motorcycle into an aircraft hangar and then start up my prop plane and fly off into the sunset, damn it, while I'm wearing aviators and a leather jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm at right now, where I'm like, just hell yeah. And that's where I'm I think it's funny because I know that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Really brought out the beast with Ian.
I'm just. It's one of those things where like I feel like it's firing on all cylinders for me. Well, and again, it also helps that like the film is wonderfully shot. There are some
downright gorgeous.
There are some very picturesque moments in the film where I feel like if you paused it and just like looked at the frame for a second, you could be surprised with how just pretty it is. And again, it's Tom Cruise. So like there is a lot of stunts, or well, I don't want to say a lot of stunts. There are action moments in the fighter jet that are practical.
Yeah.
He's in
straight up real.
I'm not sure if he's the one doing all the maneuvers, but like he is for sure in the cockpit experiencing G's because you can't fake some of that on the face because there's a certain level of like like face sag.
You begin to boo-womp.
You begin to do a good little bwomp.
Yeah.
As you experience that much force on your body. And there's a couple of times where the other actors that are also experiencing G's, you can see it in their eyes. They get real big and they're like,
yeah.
Because they're like, I mean, you're experiencing,
levels of strain that your body is not used to.
And I think
or should ever be exposed to.
There's at one point in the film where they're like, you're gonna go straight up, and in the process of doing that, you're gonna feel
a minimum of 9 G's
weighing
down upon your body.
You're gonna feel the better part of 2,000 pounds on your body,
like an elephant sitting on your chest.
There's gonna be a point where your lungs are gonna try and collapse on you. Your blood is gonna try and stop circulating to the rest of your body.
It's gonna be forced away from your brain,
and you are going to pass out, or you're going to potentially pass out.
If you're weak.
Anyways, it's badass, super cool, and I love it, and I had a lot of fun.
What's your favorite plane, Ian?
Bruh. I loved the comeback of the was the F-14. Dude,
love that thing.
Super cool. I heard it's a little unwieldy because of a lot of factors having to do with how wide it is.
Yeah.
And the adjustable wings. So I heard that it's a little finicky. I like a solid F-22.
Oh, yeah.
Those feel like the standard fighter planes that I've always seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of other ones that I think are really cool. The F-36, I think is or F-35 is the new one. Yeah. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of really cool fighter jets, but the F-22 has been like the one that
really hits that nail.
I mean, just is a really cool look about it.
Oh yeah.
I also just like fighter jets. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm too old now, but there was a point in time where if you tried hard enough, you could have convinced me to join the Navy.
Really?
As a fighter pilot.
Damn.
There is a. I feel like if multiple universes exist, there is if there's a multi-universal theory or something, there is an Ian out there that, upon exiting high school, probably joined the Navy and just lived his Top Gun dream.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And I feel that way, but yeah. I think I'm too old now to join the Navy.
I want to say the age limit for recruitment is like 25.
I think it's 28.
Oh,
I believe potentially. I could be wrong, but I think obviously if you can be older if you're in the Navy already, but just to enlist, I think.
I think as far as my favorite goes, I'd probably have to go with the good old A-10 Warthog.
I mean, okay, yeah.
I love that thing.
Right.
The flying arsenal.
Every time I think of that, I just hear Bert. It feels like it's just ingrained in me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for what is the maximum age to enlist in the military? For Army Special Forces is 20 to 30.
Damn.
I think for some areas. Air Force is 28. And then I think it says Navy SEAL. I don't know if that's gonna be potentially what I was talking about. Is 17 to 28.
Wow.
So
17.
Yeah. Yeah, you can enlist in the Navy, I think, as young as 17.
Wow.
And as old as 28. So there may be a way that if I was I think I haven't done my research. I could be wrong, but because I'm seeing some other answers here on Google from just doing just a very bit of light research, so I could be very wrong. Yeah. But I think if I was to get my pilot's license, I could probably go and work on a ship or something. I wouldn't be. I'm not really good in the water though. Not a big fan
You're
of.
Gonna have to be.
I know. That's the thing. Is so being in the Navy. I think I could. I think the uncomfortableness I have with the water, I could work through.
Yeah.
It's not like a phobia. It's not like a phobia or like a crippling anything.
I have a phobia.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have a phobia of the water, and I know that. But for me, mine's just a little bit of uncomfort with it because I don't have exposure. You know what I mean? I know if I was to be on a ship for an extended period of time, I could probably work through it.
Right, you get used to it.
But anyways, but from what I've been told, even when I was a younger age, I was like, I want to go fly jets. I want to go fly fighter jets. I just want to be a fighter pilot. And I got told from numerous people, they're like, don't join the Air Force, join the Navy.
Right.
And I was like, why is that? They're like, you will probably never see a jet in the Air Force, but you will probably fly all the time in the Navy. And I was like, well, sign me up.
Right.
But anyways, so yeah, there is a side of me that really wants me to just become a pilot and then buy a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So
get your piloting license for a motorcycle.
Yeah. Just get both of them. I just get all the licenses. Driver's license, motorcycle's license.
Fishing license.
I mean, I may as well get a boater's license while I'm at it, Let's just go ahead and let me just be my full masculine self and just be able to work any machinery. I'll get my CDL. I can drive 16-passenger vans.
Forklift certified.
Forklift certified? I mean, come on.
That's the gold standard, bro.
Bruh, I will make
Cannot pass that one.
You want to know something funny? I used to work at a wholesale store as my first job.
Grolken bulk.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
And I used to work in stocking, and I used to stock shelves and stuff. But of course, it's like a it's a big wholesale store, so they got those
Right.
huge like tall racks,
Yeah.
and so you could work the little like whip around forklifts. And before I quit the job, I was about to start the process of becoming forklift certified. So I would have been
close.
I know. So I would have been.
You were this close to perfection.
This close to being a man.
Damn.
And it got taken away from me. Well, I don't want to say taken away from me. I quit the job because it was an awful work environment. So I mean, you know,
Right.
You win some, you lose some.
Right. Can't really argue with that.
I quit that job to become an artist. So I mean, you know, you
say what you will.
say what you will.
But know that if you do, I'll fuck you up.
There you go. So, anyways, yeah, I really had a fun time with this film.
Yeah.
The tension, the action. I mean, like everything,
Beautiful.
so wonderfully executed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks really crisp, on the nose.
Very much so.
There's this beautiful. I'm not gonna. I mean,
Why not? Come on.
I mean, I'm not gonna. You all know how the film ends. It is a.
You should.
It is an action film, so obviously there's not a whole. There's a lot of.
There's more than a couple close calls.
You're right, and it's all. I just.
Speak it.
There's even a little bit of comedy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There is what would be considered a tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
because Maverick gets shot down at the end of the mission. Mission is a success. They're trying to get out. They're being bombed on by all areas.
Right.
And he ends up getting downed. Rooster ends up coming around to save him.
Takes out a Hind D.
A
One of my favorite attack helicopters.
What a beautiful helicopter that is. That's another one. I need to get helicopter certified.
Yeah, dude.
I just need to get on my certifications. I just want to hold them on a key ring and go like,
Right. You pull them out like a fold-out
yeah.
photo album for a family. It's
Right.
just like,
Just
look at all my
keeps,
licenses.
just keeps on getting spiraled around.
I got this one when I was...
Yeah. What do you need? I can operate it, I swear.
Oh, that's for my 30th birthday.
Look at that.
I even got the hat on.
Basically, Rooster gets shot down by one of the Sams whenever he destroys his helicopter. But he ejects, and of course Maverick runs over there. And I think it's so funny and so real that Rooster stands up and he's like packing up his chute and everything. And there's like this wonderful like symphony that kind of like swells up as like Maverick's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? And he's like running up to him, and there's like this wide shot, trees, and I mean, and it's, are they in Russia? Is that where they are at?
They never say where they are, but it's Russia.
Yeah. So it's like it's like snow all over the ground, and there are these like tall, very thin evergreen trees, and I mean the colors beautiful, stark white. These like dark brown, black, almost trunks of these trees, and these like bright green leaves, and it's just this. I mean, the sweeping shot of like the drone shot they get of like Tom Cruise running in the forest to get to Rooster, and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. And of course, they cut to this wide shot, and you see far left Rooster standing up tall, and then you have Maverick coming from the right screen, and he runs over there, and as this like symphony kind of rises, it hard cuts, and instead of them hugging, Maverick pushed them to the ground. And he's like, "What were you thinking?" And he's
What's
like,
wrong with you?
He's like, "What do you mean? You told me not to think.
I just saved your life.
I just saved your life." And he's like, "No, I saved your life. That's not the point." And it's like it's just this beautiful like stumbly conversation that feels authentic, and it just feels real, because again, like after it's all said and done, like Maverick's obviously ran through the forest, so he does that like 2 hands on the knees, like kind of slumped over, like the
out of breath,
like kind of like catching himself for a second, and then he stands up, and then and the Rooster's like, so what's the plan?
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see you. It's like, it's good to see you too, man. So what's the plan? And then Oh, gosh. I love it. They end up they're gonna go try and steal an F-14 from the base that's there, and when they do that, I forgot what he says exactly, but the actor did such a great job.
Miles Teller.
Yeah, Miles Teller, dude, great actor. He did a great job of like, they're like tucked away in this little hill or whatever, and there's no way we're gonna do this. There's no way, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Don't worry.
Guess what we're doing?
Right.
This.
So they're gonna go take the F-14.
Thankfully, the air base is in enough chaos.
Oh yeah.
After having been hit with so many, so many missiles.
Yeah.
The runway has now been fully cratered.
Oh, it's there. Yeah. Did a
like
carpet bomb run.
Very nice polka dot pattern.
Yeah.
Not very good for plane takeoffs.
No, definitely not.
But they gotta get airborne.
So,
He
but
goes-
before that, he's like running over there. He goes from behind cover, and of course, he starts to like kind of like fast walk, and then Rooster's like, Maverick, wait,
Right.
and then he just goes, all right,
Yeah.
and it feels okay, yeah, it just feels so. It feels real, and I love that. I love dialogue that feels real and it feels authentic and not scripted or whatever. Even though obviously this is all scripted, it just felt very.
I got some bad news for you.
What? Oh, I know. You're right. And I get
Right.
that. But I just like the fact that it doesn't feel that way.
Right.
And that's I enjoy
Comes
that.
across as natural.
Right.
Good. The actors gave a very good delivery.
Right. And so they end up running off, doing their thing. And then what were we saying?
So they begin the startup sequence for one of these F-14s. Now, he's able to walk Rooster through it step by step, like real quick, of course, and he's able to get a grasp on it fairly well.
Right.
But man, he really just does not shy away from stating that this thing is a museum piece,
He's like, this thing is old.
a relic. But man, I don't know that I could ever think of that thing as old because it's got such a good design.
It does. And that's the thing is like you look at these and like, yes, the F-14 is over 30 years old probably.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. That's stupid and dumb. I don't like thinking about that. Ugh.
Yeah.
30-year-old Eric. Oh, it's
But-
fucking older than me.
But anyways, there's this great moment where they finally get the thing started up, and he's spooling up the engines, and he's about to get rocking and rolling.
Yep.
And as they're on, again, for those of you who may not know, there are small runways. They're basically like roads, like small little roads that connect to the runway. The runway is this absolutely massive stretch of asphalt, like obviously you've all seen if anybody's been in a plane before,
Right.
and that's where it has the most length and has the most width, so that way you can land full aircraft carriers on
More
it if you
than
need
enough
to.
clearance.
More than enough. Because obviously the bigger the aircraft, the more runway you need because you need more speed to be able to lift that off the ground. But it also works in the adverse, that the smaller the plane, technically the less runway you need, especially if you have more power, like a
Right.
fighter jet. So there are turboprops, which are we won't get into all that. It is a propeller plane, but it is like supercharged. And those, I have seen some that have enough horsepower that can, from basically a standstill, can produce enough thrust and lift for themselves that they can almost take off from a standstill, because they're also very light, very aerodynamic. And if you have the right wind flow, I have seen some spool up all the way, full power, let go of the brake, and then gone, and then it started taking off. And I was like, bro, what did I just have?
No build-up required.
No, there's no run up. He just jumped. He just bounced off the ground and it left. So like I'm saying all
So
that.
close to a VTOL classification.
Yes. But anyway, so they're Maverick has that look in his eyes, and he's like staring down the only clear road they have, which is a taxiway, which is much shorter, much smaller, and they're meant to, as the name implies, taxi around to get to the runway.
Right.
So once you like land, you have to taxi around to get to a hangar. It's kind of how they operate. And so like justifiably, Rooster's like, hey, yo, this is like a very small taxiway. We don't have the, like, what are you doing? The wings fold out,
Right.
and he like spools up the engine as high as he can get it. And of course, Rooster's like, what are you doing? Why are the wings coming out? What are we... Please don't tell me that we're going to do our thing. And of course, before you know it, he lets off the brake and just starts full going.
Oh, yeah.
And
Extra go with that one.
And then the whole time, Rooster's like, oh, shit.
Freaking
Oh, damn it. Oh, man. Oh,
Coming
here
to
we
terms
go.
with his,
Here we go.
his inevitable demise.
And there are... I don't think this is proper terminology, but I have heard it in numerous simulations that I've done, and also I heard it as like a fun joking statement.
Yeah.
Is that if you have enough power and you go up enough at a certain angle, they call it space shuttle status.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're gunning it that hard and you tip the nose up to a certain degree, they call it space shuttle status, because you're basically going straight up.
Yeah. Very in tune with the vertical state of being.
He gets it spooled up just enough, clears this archway, busts the front landing gear, and I'm like, that's going to be a surprise later.
Right.
And then he goes near space shuttle status. I mean, just like flying up there. Great. It's a wonderful. It's so
beautiful.
So tense, so fun, so amazing, and I loved it. Let me actually go ahead and look. I have a few fun facts here for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a couple.
Hmm.
And see, this is a prime example. There's a picture right here of that shot where all of the jets are lined up, and the number one jet is Mavericks with like the blue top on it. And there's the Admiral standing there just looking out. And it's just like, what a beautiful picture this is.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, they say that somewhere in the time of the 2010s is when this was talked about being made, Maverick.
Wow.
They started trying to make it and get writers on board with it. And then they eventually got Tony Scott on board with it as a screenwriter to like help also like make it a thing. But then tragically later in 2012, a couple years after they like getting the thing underway, he committed suicide, and then that put back the production for a little bit of a little bit of time to get that back on the ground. So.
Right.
And Tom Cruise was originally against the idea. While Top Gun was one of Tom Cruise's first defining hits as a movie star, he did not want to necessarily jump into making a sequel for it. In fact, when the idea was broached to him while he was promoting 1989's Born on the 4th of July, and Cruise called the idea of Top Gun's sequel irresponsible. It would take a while for the project to find legs, and I'm glad that it did, because I think this is a perfect.
It turned out great. A better sequel than most could ask for nowadays.
Yes, that's crazy.
Oh man, I wish more sequels were like this.
Yeah. Oh wow, that is crazy.
War.
I want you. This is surprising.
Yeah.
I want you. This just proves my point. This proves my point.
Yeah.
You can make an original movie and it be good, and people will like it. If you
Right.
put the time, if you put the love into it, you put the effort into it,
Mhm.
and you make it a good film, people, I think, will like it.
Yeah.
If you go out on a limb. It's big budget studios that don't want to take the risk, and they keep rinsing and repeating the same thing from IPs they have that they feel like they can, it's the safe option.
Right.
It's a safe thing that's going to make money.
Mhm.
This franchise is a prime example of how you can sit on an IP for a while and you can put love and effort and find people that are passionate about the project and make it something great.
Mhm.
I want you to guess what the budget of this film was.
Oh, jeez.
Spoiler, it's not as much as you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely in the millions, right?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to guess 4 million.
It is 170 million,
Oh, my God.
which is, for a big budget film, not a lot. 400 million is like a Marvel movie budget.
Oh.
I want you just to throw out your best guess as to what the box office sales for Top Gun Maverick were.
Jesus. I'm sure they did well.
Yes.
You said their budget was...
The budget was 170 to 180 million.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure a majority of that was Tom Cruise's salary.
Right. Of course. I'm gonna say maybe 800 million.
Was their box office?
Yeah, as far as
Okay.
returns go, maybe
It's a good guess.
something around.
It
this.
was $1.5 billion.
Oh my
One.
God. See, where the fuck does all that money go?
I mean, a lot of times paying for a lot of things.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Billions.
Or $1.5 billion.
Even millions is insane to me.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
That is crazy. A lot of that may also go to like residuals that like the actors get. Some of them sign contracts where it's like a one and done sort of thing.
Right.
And I think that's where, if I'm not mistaken, let me read this for a second. The movie truly felt official in 2016. Cruise was announced to be starring in Top Gun sequel, which would get the official
Top Gunner.
Yeah. Which would get the official title of Top Gun Maverick in 2017. It was initially reported that Cruise was paid $13 million to reprise his role, but another report came out in 2022 that indicated that when all was said and done, Tom Cruise made $100 million on Maverick.
God damn. That is like,
Yes.
I don't understand. It's so much.
It is. It is. But also that kind of comes with the kind of comes with the territory though.
Yeah.
With that. It's like once you become a big name actor, you can kind of I mean even
As
in
long as people want to keep watching you.
You're right. Even in my world, as as in the past, I've been a contract artist, or I've been like a photographer, or like a video. I've been a cinematographer, if you want to have the specific title.
One of those graphers.
Yeah. And so there becomes a time when it's like I have a good enough business. I know I'm confident in my work enough that I can walk into a place and say my work is worth this much, because like that's people are willing to pay it, and I also know that it's that good in a way, and not like in an arrogant way, but like I think I deserve that much because it's how much time and effort I've put into bettering myself for it.
There's nothing wrong with knowing how much you're worth.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of where that comes into play, where it's like he may have just taken 13 as like a hey, starting budget, I'll get paid to have fun and reprise my role.
Right.
People are gonna love it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is 100 times
God.
over its budget. So it's like, man,
yeah, that's nuts.
that's crazy to think. Like, But to circle back around to what I was talking about, though, it's like this is what I'm talking about. It's like you can make something original, or you can take something that is. Let me go ahead and I'm going to throw out a new movie. For example, Barbie.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's different. It plays with some great theming, and it has some wonderful, touching moments in it. It was a great film all around. The practical effects that were used on it, the actors in it, the play between the characters and all that kind of stuff. Trying to be vague on purpose, obviously, for those of you who haven't seen it. It's a great film. I definitely recommend watching it. That movie made a killing. It killed it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it made its budget and then some.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how good it was. But that's what I'm talking about. You have a cool idea. You get people on board that are willing to make it happen. And then before you know it, you got this thing that's got people behind it that are passionate, and you make something that is great. And people find that and go, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can do that. And then I think that there could be a place for some sort of like sequel of Barbie in the future. Maybe. I'm not talking about like next year or next 2 years. I'm talking like let it simmer for a while. Let people love it, and then like come back to it and then do something fun or interesting with it.
Yeah. That's a tightrope, man.
I know, you're right.
So many situations like that have gone wrong.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, you're right. You mean like what I'm talking about, like coming back to a franchise?
Right. Like making a sequel or reiterating on a classic that is beloved.
You're right.
If you don't if you don't do it right, or if people just don't like it, man,
this is what I'm saying is that there is a way to do it. There is a way to, I think, approach it. There are probably people that love the original Top Gun and probably hate Maverick. That's always going to be the case. People are always going to hate your new thing, especially if you try and take something that's very beloved and change it or reiterate on it. What I'm talking about is like, yes, I hear you, but at the same time, like, I think there's a place for it if the intentions are right.
Yeah.
If the people are going to get behind it. I think this film shows that there was a team of people that cared about doing it right and that wanted to do it for the right reasons, and that made a great film that is, I think, going to be an extension of a classic.
Oh, yeah. It's a perfect example.
But if you're going to try and like resurrect Jurassic Park and you're just going to do it to try and cash in on an audience, it's going to show in the product, I think.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like that's why I feel like that's where the delineation I'm trying to make is like there are sequels to things or remakes or reboots that are like, man, this just really another prime example. I could be here all night. Netflix trying to make anime adaptations.
Oh, God.
Where it's like there is a reason
that nobody's asking for.
There is a reason why I'm not going to be a super big anime advocate, but I will advocate for Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop. I love that show. It has a certain vibe, has a certain feel. The characters have a certain way of the interplay between all the characters. It's a lovely show, not even just for an anime sake, just a show in general.
Right.
It's wonderful, and it's fun, and I love it. I saw some clips of things from the live action, and it's like I don't think you understood what the magic was with Cowboy Bebop, because I think there was a way to do it.
Yeah.
And then there was your way that you did it. And it's like, I just feel like you're trying to...
It certainly was a way.
You're trying to cash in on something here.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And the same thing can be said about video games. The same thing can be said about TV shows. Like, you name it. I mean, anyways, like I said, I have to be careful because I'll be here all night. Right. Sorry, I got on my soapbox and I started talking a whole bunch.
Right.
But that's what I mean. It's like there's a way to do it. And the point that I was making, let me circle back around to it, is that, as I was saying, Barbie, I think there could be a place for some sort of reinterpretation of it or reiteration, and it could be done well because there was a lot of theming involved in it. There's a lot of relevant conversations that were being had. There's a lot of stuff that was going on that felt very very current and now that I think in a handful of years you could revisit it with like a proper mindset and you could make something interesting in that world again. If you see it, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But that's not what Hasbro's doing now. Do you want to just throw out an outlandish guess as to what Hasbro's doing now? Do you know?
Is it
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It's the Hasbro Cinematic Universe.
Are you fucking serious?
No, I'm not. Oh, yes, I'm serious. No, I'm not joking. Is what I thought you were going to say. They're going to just know that the second that just the second the money bags started rolling in. Hold on, let me see. Let me look at I don't want to mislead our people here. Hold on. Let's see what we
Cinematic Universe.
You're right. You were right.
Oh no.
Let's see. A surprisingly big. Now some of this could be hold on.
A bit speculative.
Yeah, I don't know if everything's going to be actually going to happen.
I really hope you're wrong.
I think Skybound is also a part of this, so it's like it's going to be.
Oh.
Shit, I can't. I didn't have it pulled up. This is just an off the cuff kind of thing.
Right.
But basically, they're gonna.
Oh no.
In the future, they had talked about having like making a whole bunch of new films based on products that they have. I know they already have films already. Like I know they have like Battleship that I think they were a part of. I think they have.
Oh my god.
They have, I think, My Little Pony, stuff like that. I think they're a part of and stuff. There's a couple other ones that they have, like Transformers. I think they have like certain TV shows and stuff they're a part of as well. But like the second that the movie popped off, they're like coming out with a bunch of other ones, like Monopoly or something crazy.
Like, oh man, if you like that so much, let's try all of these other things.
Exactly. And it's like, again, it's probably, I'm not going to say they're all bad, but it's like what you can really smell. The
lack of passion.
Yeah, or just the money grabbing nature of it all. And it's like, oof.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yowza.
Yowza is right. Anyways, for those of you at home, if you want to watch a real good manly movie, just watch yourself some Top Gun Maverick. I'm obviously playing around, but it does make me feel.
Either one of them Top Gun films.
Right. Oh, they're real good. Both of them are real good. I like the new one, and I think it is well deserving of all the praise.
Yeah,
I had friends of mine. The thing is, and here we go again. I had people that were big fans of the original Top Gun. I knew two people in particular that were like, "Ooh, favorite movie of all time? Boom, Top Gun." There were those kind of friends.
Oh yeah.
And when they came back from Maverick after seeing it for like the second time, they're like, "This is a wonderful movie." And I was like, okay,
that's great.
I was like, exactly. I was like,
good.
As a person who loves Top Gun, for you to come back after watching it for like a second time going, this is the best film. This is the best sequel to a film. I was like,
my doubts are cast
I was
aside.
like, you know what? I may not trust all of your opinions about movies. I may not trust your opinions about anything else. But in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I believe what you're saying. I think this movie is going to be really good.
That's a reasonable take.
You're right. And I
can jive with that.
You're right. This movie may not be for everybody, but for me, I loved it. Right in my wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me want to fly planes again.
Makes me want to build a house made of wheels.
Yeah. Makes me want to go put my leather jacket on and wear aviators.
Right. In the 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
The heat stroke will be well worth it. I'm gonna be the coolest guy in the ambulance.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the coolest hot guy around. I'm gonna be the sweatiest cool guy out there.
Man.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being part of this, especially anybody who made it through my little soapbox rant about, the passions of filmmaking. Like, I am sorry. But also, you know what? I'm not sorry because I'm passionate about it. And I think we all,
how shit is, man.
we all should stand up for what we believe in sometimes. And I believe that trash-ass video games and movies need to stop being a thing.
Yeah.
I think we need to get some original ideas out there, get some real good stuff, get some good creative people out there flexing.
Give it time.
Give it some time to make it happen. You can even give it a deadline. Make it quick, but come up with a cool premise. Come up with something fun.
Yeah.
Don't just keep feeding us as consumers
Garbage.
just this regurgitated bullshit. No one wants it anymore. It's awful.
Sick.
Anyways. I almost just lit a whole new match fire.
Oh my God.
If there's an original artist that has written works, try and follow what they.
Just give them a shot.
People love it for a reason. Find out why, and then cash in on it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's not hard.
Right.
Anyways, I'm also I'm not the one over here raking in literally billions of dollars
right.
in movie revenue. So I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm
maybe
just
dip your toe in the industry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but also at the same time, you know what? Screw you, buddy.
Right.
You watch awful movies. you watch trash television, and you need to go and get better.
Maybe I'd take your advice if you didn't have shit taste.
Maybe I'd have to have. Maybe I would actually listen to what you have to say if your opinions of movies and music wasn't atrocious.
Damn.
Anyways, let me go ahead and just get off this soapbox again. I'm sorry. I'm going to pack that away for a minute.
Right. It's a big box, bro. How'd you fit that thing in here?
I don't know. How, it just happens. I start talking before I know it. I'm elevated onto the box. I'm like, how did I get on? Get off
Be
here.
in the
Get
middle
out
of
of
a
here.
conversation and you just slowly start reaching for it.
I just slowly start getting the box. I already had the box. I'm like a cartoon character. I have it behind me. And I'm like
sitting there like, Ian.
No.
You have the box again. It's like, what do you
sorry.
know?
Oh shit! Look
I
at me.
sure do.
I just have one foot standing on it like Captain Morgan.
Right.
Just sitting there like, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice I was doing that. My bad. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, especially through all of our rants. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot to me.
Yeah.
If you're looking to find us or reach out to us or, just talk to us, we have a link tree /Ian Wolf, where you can find all the places where you can listen to this podcast, or you can reach out to us, all those different good things. You know how it works. Or if you hop inside an experimental aircraft and then slip through the surly bonds of Earth and then ride on just the outside of the atmosphere and you look over onto the horizon, the podcast will be there waiting for you.
You got to be hitting Mach 10, though.
Yeah.
Just under 11.
Mm-hmm. I want you to also do like a serpentine runs through these caves, do a little upside down flip-de-doo, and then get inside, loop-de-loop, and then fire your rockets into that hole right there, and then
the crater
surprise, like
you have
little
unearthed us.
like the little kazoo, it'll come out. There's will be the podcast.
All right.
Surprise. But anyways, until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye bye.